The challenges of climate change impacts heavily on the nation's plans for the development of the agricultural sector. Ghana's agriculture is primarily concentrated on the coast, but the potential for agricultural development in the intermediate and Rupununi savannas is known. On this InfoHub Extended, we take a look at the agricultural stations that have been earmarked for all the major ecozones in Guyana.
The intermediate savannas have long been considered as the next frontier for the nation's agricultural development. Since the coalition government's assumption to office, shaping agriculture for a green economy has been in line with the Ministry of Agriculture's plans for agricultural development of the savanna areas of the country. Minister of Agriculture, Noel Holder.
The Ministry of Agriculture has been working assiduously for the revitalization of agriculture in the hinterland. The Ministry of Agriculture has aligned its work program to realize the intermediate savannas as the next agricultural center and has prioritized the implementation of policies for development of the Rupununi savanna. We will commence the establishment and in some instances re-establish agricultural stations in each of the main ecozones of Guyana. This is being done to nurture integration between the coast and hinterland and to increase access to the bountiful resources of our interior. Stations will be established in the Northwest District, in Region 1, in the Pacaraimos in Region 8, Cato, in the Rupununi Savannas, a new station at Manari, and in intermediate savannas, the Ibini station will be expanded.
The agricultural stations are intended to demonstrate the agricultural potential within the 6 identified regions. These will include demonstration of orchards, nurseries, and seed production units for the production of planting material relevant to each ecozone, breeding herds of cattle and small ruminants to provide breeding stock for farmers and seed stock for entrepreneurs.
During 2015, work had begun on updating the various studies on the agricultural development of the intermediate savanna. Large-scale agriculture in the savannas will commence in 2016 with the production of soybeans by the Brazilian company New Frontier Agriculture Incorporated in the Kimbia Ibini savanna. While a feasibility study for the agricultural development of the Rupununi savannas does exist, this will be updated and expanded during 2016 with a view to the logical expansion in that area along the lines of the Santa Fe model, which is in the process of development in the North Rupununi. These initiatives will create new employment opportunities, both directly and more so indirectly, as the country's economic base is moved inland and will complement other activities such as mining, forestry, and support services activities thereto appertaining.
The stations will have multiple functions such as research areas, housing and office space, mechanical and other workshops, recreational facilities and teaching facilities. Areas in the intermediate savannas have a rich agricultural history. Minister Holder said due to this, an approximate 54,000 acres of agricultural station was established at Ibini.
The intermediate savannas are comprised of a number of discrete areas, namely the Casaramo, Ibini, Kimbia, Fort Nassau savannas, located east or right bank of the Burbis River, and the Viruni, Aichuni, Kibiribiri, and Ibarabo savannas, located on the west left bank of the Burbis River. The term intermediate is derived from the fact that these savannas are located south of our low-lying coastal savannas of regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and north of our southwest Rupununi savannas of Region 9. The history of agricultural activity in these savannas dates back to the 1930s, when the Kibiribiri and Aichuni savannas were used as resting grounds for cattle being brought by overland trail from the Rupununi savannas en route to Georgetown. At Takama and the Burbis River, the cattle were shipped by paddle boat to Rosignol and by rail to Georgetown. Cattle that were 2 weeks after the approximately 6-week journey were placed on the Ibini savanna to recover while awaiting the following overland shipment from the Rupununi. This prompted the establishment of the Ibini Livestock Station in the 1940s for purposes of investigating the constraints to beef production with a view to realizing the economic agricultural potential of the intermediate savannas.
The idea was to place emphasis on cassava, peanut and orchard crops and cattle at Ibini, then other areas, supported by an Inter-American Development Bank funded US $15 million Sustainable Agriculture Development Project, SADP. Already, orchard production at Ibini has significantly increased. Minister Holder said the Ministry of Agriculture is committed to enhancing food and nutrition security throughout Guyana.
Investing in a green economy has the potential to enhance food security, reduce poverty, improve nutrition and health, and create rural jobs while reducing pressure on the environment, including greenhouse gas emissions. Farming practices and technologies that are instrumental in greening agriculture include restoring and enhancing soil fertility, crop rotations, improving water use efficiency, reducing chemical, pesticide and herbicide use, and reducing food spoilage and loss by expanding the use of post-harvest storage and processing facilities.
Agriculture remains a priority area for addressing problems of unemployment, poverty alleviation, and for fostering economic development. Significantly, the country is focusing primarily on sustainable food security, increasing productivity, expanding commercial agriculture, import substitution, income diversification, and export orientation. Hinterland development with large-scale agriculture in both the Rupununi and intermediate savannas is targeted.
Recognizing the importance of advancing hinterland agriculture, the government has taken critical steps. These include promoting agricultural expansion further inland by introducing mega farms in the intermediate and Rupununi savannas, the expansion of non-traditional agricultural production such as coconuts, fruits and spices, and the increase of aromatic rice production, which will add to production in the rice sector at the higher end of the value chain. Minister of Agriculture, Noel Holder.
Because agricultural diversification is so fundamental to the well-being of the green economy transition, I'd like to spend my remaining time talking about what it will take to achieve these developmental advances and share their benefits. Mr. Speaker, hinterland agricultural development will continue to be an important facet of our agricultural development agenda. In 2016, emphasis was placed on finalizing plans for expansion of the agricultural station at Ibini and the establishment of a new station at Ferrara in Region 9. Work will continue in 2017 in pursuit of these stations becoming a reality. Emphasis will be placed on cassava, peanut and orchard crops, and cattle at Ibini, whilst at Ferrara the focus will be on cattle, rice, orchard crops, and cassava. These developments will be supported by an IDB program, which is coming on stream in 2017.
The approach for agriculture development of the savannas is an integrated one, utilizing private-public partnerships with support from medium to large enterprises operating in the area. These are large to medium-sized agricultural producers who are willing to invest in the area, as well as exporters and agro-processors who will benefit directly through enhanced livelihoods. Minister Holder said there are a number of private institutions operating in the savannas.
These include the New Frontier Agricultural Company in the Ibini-Kimbia savannas, an entity that has Brazilian roots and access to technological advances used in Brazil for crop production, particularly corn and soybean production. They were also instrumental in assisting NARI in conducting research for the commercialization of soybean production in intermediate savannas. Also in the Ituni savanna, there are the Jubilee Ranch, the Citrus Company Guyana Incorporated, Lulu's Farm, and in the Ibaraba savanna, there are 3 private cattle and goat farms.
The primary agriculture entities at the Ibini Agricultural Station include the Ghana Livestock Development Authority, GLDA, the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, NARI, and the Ministry's Hydrometeorological Service. A portion of the land is under improved pastures, and the part is occupied by orchard crops and other areas of agricultural research.
The Guyana Livestock Development Authority, GLDA, is a semi-autonomous agency comprising several entities in livestock, responsible for developing the architecture to ensure access to safe, wholesome and affordable food, particularly food from animals. At the Ibini Agricultural Station, GLDA continues to work to identify breed types and pasture species suitable for the savannas. Chief Executive Officer, GLDA, Nigel Cumberbatch.
The Ibini Research Station is one of our premier research units, and one of the main cattle research stations in Guyana, and I dare say perhaps throughout the Caribbean, the English-speaking Caribbean. We have been here since the 1940s, and cattle came onto the station as a result of cattle coming through the cattle trail from the Rupununi savannas and being held here at this location. And while being held here at this location, we recognized that the animals were not progressing as we know that they should. And so the research station was established then to identify some of the problems associated with the growth and development of cattle in these savanna lands. I must indicate to you too that the savanna lands are what we refer to as poor soils. So having said that, there are mineral deficiency problems in these soils, and to be able to maintain and to rear cattle profitably in these savannas, we have to use mineral supplementation. We at this location are trying to identify the best breeds of animals and the best grass and legume mixture that could be used to have a profitable ranch in this type of environment. At the Ibini location, we also have sheep. It is the national repository for the Barbados black belly sheep. And so in addition to cattle and sheep and pastures, that is the sum all of the livestock that we have here at this location. The animals that we are working with at the present time are the Brahman Zebu, the Beefmaster, and the Brangus, and we are looking at either purebred mixtures of these or the crosses of these animals, and looking to see how they perform in these savannas, utilizing a number of different management systems, mainly based on the forage utilization, grasses and legumes.
NARI was established following the assent of the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute Act 2010 in March 2011. Its creation has expanded the services offered by the then National Agricultural Research Institute, which was formed in 1984. Unlike GLDA, the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute's emphasis at the Ibini Research Station is on orchard crops, as these are well adapted to the soil conditions and can be produced economically, Minister Holder explained.
Ibini also contains Nari's coconut and mango germplasm collection, as well as its red peas and peanut varieties to supply the Berbice River and coastline. Large-scale cassava production is being investigated for mechanical harvesting and germplasm. Lastly, there are approximately 10 acres of corn for seed for the purpose of feed production. Additionally, under the Sustainable Agricultural Development Project, there will be more emphasis on soybean cultivation. This IDB-funded project, the SADP, has a component that focuses on strengthening the agricultural innovation and extension system and will finance the buildings and equipment required on the Ibini Agricultural Station. This should commence in early 2019.
Development of investment packages requires strong research data not presently available. There is also more work to be done on the transport system. Beginning with the plans under the Sustainable Agriculture Development Project, the research and extension activities of NARI and GLDA will provide innovative technologies and support to the production activities of both large and small producers. Head of the Agricultural Sector Development Unit, George Jarvis.
So the purpose of the Ibini Research Station is to more or less not only research new things, but also to test existing varieties and genetic material for both crops and livestock, so that you may be able to advise farmers and supply them with breeding material for both crops and livestock, so that they may be able to supply food eventually to regions 10, to region 10 itself, region 9, as well as region 7. What we have here present, the Livestock Development Authority, the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, the Hydromet Department, and we have the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority that's doing the roads, as you can see. Our intention in this development is to develop it in such a way that we can have a tertiary education being offered here for Ghana School of Agriculture. So we will be training students into the specifics that are required for this region.
The training center will include accommodation and modern teaching aids. According to Jarvis, the training required to work at the Ibini Research Station is more complex and unique than those required for the other regions. The intention is to have a full-fledged training facility at Ibini. However, until then, students from the Guyana School of Agriculture, GSA, will commence rigorous training from as early as the next semester at the research station. As it relates to work on the transport system as part of efforts to boost agricultural development of the savanna areas, a cattle barge will now provide farmers with transportation along the Berbice River.
Shaping agriculture for a green economy is in line with the Ministry of Agriculture's plans for agricultural development of the savanna areas of the country. Integrated rural and economic development is required. For instance, the Ibini station requires better access roads. The National Drainage and Irrigation Authority is in the process of completing the 12-mile road from Takama into the Ibini Agricultural Station. And the Ministry of Public Infrastructure has improved the road from Mackenzie to Ituni, as can be verified by those of you who came overland to this event. This is progress. Additionally, more reliable river transport is under consideration. Indeed, the Ghana Livestock Development Authority has procured a 50 million cattle barge to transport animals for the farmers in the Berbice River and the intermediate savannas.
The Ministry of Agriculture is committed to ensuring that these noble initiatives are beneficial to all communities.
You have been watching InfoHub Extended. Do join us again next time.